Welcome to the Trombone Retreat, podcast of the Third Coast Trombone Retreat. Today on the podcast, we welcome jazz artist and 2025 Downbeat Magazine Trombonist of the Year, Michael Dease. My name is still Sebastian Vera, and I'm joined as always by everybody's boy next door, Nicholas Schwartz. How you doing, Nick?
Hey, hey.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what you...
Yeah. I'm sticking to it.
It's been this long, and yeah. If a boy next door said that to me, I don't know if I would be talking to him anymore. Well, honestly, Nick, we did this interview yesterday, and instantly afterwards, both of us were like, wow, that was awesome. This is one of my favorite interviews we've had in a while.
Yeah, I think part of it is it had been a while since we've done an interview, but the other part, it was...
In the last 6 months, this is my number one.
Exactly, right. But yeah, Mike, he's just a really interesting dude. He's got a lot to say and a lot of nuggets of wisdom, I think is the way to put it.
Yeah, incredibly thoughtful, and we hit him with some pretty big questions, and he was really game because you can just tell he's a real deep thinker, which contributes to why he's such a great musician. Also, I don't know if Nick, but JSV tenor trombone mouthpieces are available exclusively at Houghton Horns, made in very limited batches, and honored to say now being played in major orchestras all over the world. They are unmatched in response, purity, married with depth of sound and clarity of articulation. You can experience the difference for a 15-day no-risk trial at houghtonhorns.com.
Wait, but Houghton Horns, do they sell more than just horns?
They do.
And wait, one more thing, JSV, those are your initials.
It's a weird coincidence. It's very strange, and I happen to love the mouthpiece, so it's cool.
Wow, serendipitous. Please enjoy this interview with Michael Dease.
Wow, what a journey!
That's why we always give time to set these up, because it always takes a while to figure it out.
Yeah, even if everything's perfect, something always snags a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, Mike, we met very briefly once. Nick introduced me to you at, I believe it was in Conway. Like, that must have been right after we interviewed Christian Lindbergh or something. But I don't expect you to remember me, but we met very briefly once.
Oh, man, that was 2021, something like that.
The hottest festival
ever. 21,
yeah.
22, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that was wild, man. I remember that very well. That was right when I got into bourbon.
That was a good time to do it.
Yeah, I remember some things, and some things are a little hazy.
Yeah, bourbon will do that for you.
I remember walking outside during that festival, and when you walk outside, you felt like you were like swimming through like a swamp. Like the air was just so thick.
Yeah, that was the hottest. I mean, ITF is always held during the swarmiest of months. So
and,
I think it'll be cooler this year up in Canada. So.
Are you gonna go?
Yeah. My wife was playing with Ken Tompkins.
Oh, right on.
And then, since I'll be there, Matt Neese asked me to play with the Capitol Bones the last night.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, I mean, that must be right after you picking up this bass right now, right?
Yeah, we get back tomorrow, and then I'll sleep, and then we'll go to, what is it, London?
Yeah, the wrong London.
Yeah, don't get on the wrong plane.
No, we're going to drive. It's so close.
Yeah, right. From what it takes probably about 6 hours from where you are.
Man, I think it's 3.5.
No way, really? Is it that close?
I think so.
Right.
Yeah, because we're right by Windsor.
Right, you can just cross over right there.
Yeah, so we do that, and then we have a little condo in St. Ignace, right by Mackinac Bridge.
No kidding. You have a UP place?
Yeah, well, barely. It's right.
I know. It's
right as you pass the bridge.
Yeah. So cool.
Not really.
There.
I love it. Yeah, we try to go up there once a month, and so we'll be there for a week, and then I do a record date in Dallas, and then I go to Japan for 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So it's a turbulent summer.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, yeah, I'm in Michigan right now, actually. I'm at my mom's place.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, near Muskegon.
Yeah, I love it out there.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. So I've been listening to City Life for the last couple of days, reading about you, and man, really just, it's so nice to just sit in my house and walk around. I've just been chilling all day. Congratulations on it. It's awesome.
Thank you. Thanks. That was a fun project. It's about as freewheeling as I've ever gone on the trombone.
Freewheeling.
Yeah, freewheeling.
Freewheeling.
My accent. My accent came out there.
Free Willy. No, don't.
Do that. You know the Free
Don't-
Willy tune? It's such a fucking awesome tune. I will die on that hill. It'll be.
It is an awesome tune. It's a good movie too.
I cried at the end of Free Willy. It's a tough one.
It's like all the Tyler Perry movies. If I can laugh, cry, and pray in the same movie, it's a good night.
Man, speaking of that, have you seen Sinners?
No, I heard it's on.
No,
Man, what a movie! Unreal.
I have so much to catch up on. There's so many TV shows. I just saw Grammy nominations. Not Grammy, Emmys. Which one's the TV and movie?
Yeah,
Is
Emmys.
that Emmys?
Yeah.
Emmys.
And half these shows I've never even heard of. So they're nominated for Emmys. I'm like, damn.
Practice
all right.
so much, Nick. You're just so dedicated to your
that is
practicing.
Definitely it. That's definitely it.
It's hard to watch TV when you play pedal tones because it just
Everything.
Vibrates.
yeah. I'm glad that's not just me, by the way, because I've always
universal.
wondered, it's like,
So-
man, is that something? Am I doing something
Yeah,
wrong?
so I used to think like you're creating like visual sound waves, but then I was told it's like just your eyeballs vibrating.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's crazy to think about.
Yeah. It can't be that great for us, but it can't be that bad either. I don't know.
Oh man,
It's free
I
therapy.
think it's the least of my worries.
It's always the most liked videos on social media is anything with loud pedal notes. That's what I'm learning.
Yes.
man, you gotta combine the loud pedal notes with the GoPro, and that might,
With,
remember
the
the
slide.
GoPro.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That video, golly. He got
The
I love that.
Dave Finlayson. Yeah, he broke the
Yeah.
internet with that video. He made it on, what was it, CNN or something like that?
he was in a Super Bowl commercial because of that.
That's right. It was just a little snippet of it.
Yeah, and he made that for fun in his house, and it was just on his website for 2 years, and he never shared it. And then one of his students is like, "Hey, can I post this on YouTube?" And then just went crazy.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know that was the story. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for checking out the record, man.
Yeah, man, I was reading about it, and I was like, "Oh, it's an example of straight ahead post bop." I learned. Would you say that's accurate?
Oh, wow. The classifications are always tough because they never start that way.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. They always feel like to me like the Dewey Decimal System or some librarian type way of classifying what music sounds like.
Well, it's all music. It's Beethoven didn't think of himself as a romantic composer while he was alive. You know what I mean? It's like it's classified.
Yeah. But the more sort of academic answer to that is yes. Yeah, my music fits. It's like swinging, and the blues element is never far away, but it's also contemporary and has a lot of interaction, and so that fits firmly in the post bop.
So, first of all, I want to start out by saying congratulations, as I guess you are the king of trombone now, officially. You are the president of the jazz trombone, according to the Downbeat Magazine critics poll. You're the trombonist of the year. I'm curious how you feel about this stuff. Ranking art is always weird, but like to be acknowledged by these critics and your peers must feel pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a great. It's a great conundrum there. It's for many years, I was absent from those things. They have two different levels too. They have what they call the rising star, and they have the sort of the main category. And I remember being a teenager, seeing those polls in magazines, thinking, "Wow, this is like a list of players I should check out and listen to." So I think first and foremost, they're like educational starting points for people that want to learn more about what's happening on a particular instrument. At least I hope that's what they're used for. And then I worked in New York City for many years with no mention on any of those polls. And it can be disheartening as an artist, totally, to feel unseen or not recognized for your contributions. But all learning about the polls and what people do to get seen or to get appreciated by critics, I mean, that was something I was interested in school, and I noticed that my teachers won all those things, and they all put out records and collaborated and recorded and sort of the artist's version of scholarly research. So that became something that was interesting to me, and lo and behold, you get a call one day realizing somebody put you on the list. So
Do you ever find out who it is that puts you on that list? Who are the people who like voting on these things?
they have a list of the critics that vote. It's in the magazine, but no, the process for how you get on that list in the first place is pretty mysterious.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that must be part of the proprietary side of what makes those polls tick. And there's an element of randomness to it, I think, too. I don't think there's any metric or any rubric to make it perfectly applicable to everybody playing jazz. So I get it. I get the frustration. I've been there and lived it. And then I've put out over 20 recordings in 20 plus years. And then mysteriously, somehow, I appeared on this. And my hope is this year, a lot of other people appeared on the list. So my hope is that people are starting to pay attention to younger artists. When I say younger in jazz, 50 and under.
Right.
There's a phenomenon where you're a young
People
artist.
still love it.
Yeah, you're still getting your feet wet and you're 50, and then you turn 60 and you're getting your flowers as a living legend.
You're the old sage.
The guru.
How did you first find out about it this year, and like what was your initial feeling? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, I got a call from the publicist that was working City Life, and the publicity teams get notified who wins the categories. That was really that's how I found out. I got an email, and then I found out that I'd also won on baritone saxophone.
Yeah, I was about to get to that.
And that really flipped me out, because it's really happy news. I've been focusing on the Barry for the past 2 years pretty intensely, playing it a lot, recording a lot. So it's nice. It's just really nice to know some people have heard it in what I'm doing.
Man, I'm just imagining another Barry sax player like on the list that like only plays Barry sax and sees this guy who's like the leading trombone player win his category. What the fuck?
Now, you got to go for like a clean sweep. Get it like on all the instruments. Get it on tenor sax. Get it on trumpet. Get it on bass. And you're picking up your new bass. Get at it.
So I do have a track coming out on my next record on bass. So
there we go.
So if the voters are out there listening, this is straight.
So is it bass or bass trombone are we talking about?
Upright bass. Okay. There's only one bass trombonist worthy of putting out amazing stuff that I know on this call, and that's Nick Schwartz.
Oh, wow.
Downbeat's not paying attention to what I'm doing.
They call him Swinging Nick Schwartz. Yeah.
They could, man. That was one of my regrets in school is not getting a lesson with you, Nick. That was with you. I got lessons with Marcus Young.
That's worthwhile too. He's amazing.
He's okay. But I miss the Schwartz, man. I want to get like that really rich sound and
I think you're doing all right, man. I remember once when we were in school, I was just learning how to play the contrabass trombone, and you walk by and you're like, what the hell is this thing? And you're like, let me at it. And so I gave it to you, and right away you started just improvising on it. And I have somewhere I have a video of it on some old camera. I don't know if I'll ever find it because it's just
reel to reel
smartphones. Yeah, reel to reel, exactly.
Man, you should look for that, and it's easily worth tens of dollars. That's great.
So for our audience, do you mind just listing all the instruments you play?
Okay, yeah. I started with keyboard, so like piano. Then I went to alto saxophone, then baritone saxophone, tenor saxophone, soprano saxophone, then trumpet. Taught myself trumpet at 15. Not saying I was any good, but I learned how the valves work and I could read music and things. And then I switched to trombone when I was 17. I had to do a record date on bass trombone at 19. So I borrowed a bass trombone and learned how to use the double triggers one night. That was fun. I was up all night trying to learn how to play double trigger B.
Oh,
And I showed any tips would be appreciated.
it's pretty elusive. First of all, it's in fifth position, and there's two valves involved. Fifth position, and as we all know,
Yeah.
is the most elusive of positions.
I I showed up to the record date and I had 7 low Bs in a row. So
Oh,
that was
I got
was
one of
fun.
them.
Yeah. Well, just one, and then copied and
Yeah.
pasted that over
There you
again.
go.
But
Yeah.
so I play those. In the past couple of years, I've picked up bass, drums. I'm working on my piano to get better. I also play flute and clarinet.
Dang, dude. Well, one thing that's interesting is most saxophone players who take it really seriously stick to one or two and not all four. And you're talking about playing soprano, alto, tenor, bass, or bari, excuse me, because I don't know much about saxophone, but they link together in certain ways, right? It's like alto and bari kind of link, and tenor and soprano are closer together, or something like that. As far as is that right?
That is, that's because the key in the. But yeah, most saxophone players decide whether they're gonna specialize or if they're gonna be like full on doublers in the whole instrument range. And my alto is my weakest, so I just got an alto again after not having one for about 15 years. So we'll see. We'll see how poorly I can play it.
So
Now,
yeah,
what's the hardest? What do you think is the hardest out of all these instruments?
For me, the hardest is actually trumpet. Because I have to thicken my personality so much
right.
to act like a trumpet player.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the hardest part.
No, I'm kidding. Some of my best people I know are trumpet players. Sorry, it's hard to say that without
You have to
laughing.
tuck in your shirt and like button to the top button and make sure no one makes eye contact with you. And
Yeah.
Oh man, no. One of my friends told him recently. He's a great trumpet player that was at Juilliard before us, Justin Emmerich.
Oh yeah, sure.
That's all I said. Man, you're one of my trumpet heroes. And he was like, I don't believe you. And I was like, man, shoot. And the way he plays trumpet is, and really the way he teaches, he's one of the few cats I know that can really get pretty much anybody going on the trumpet, like at an amazing level.
But he's really brought that studio there at Michigan State to international prominence.
It's just unreal what he's been able to do in such a short amount of time. I remember even the first semester, cats were shaping up in ways that it was a real pleasure to see. So, but no, trumpet's hard for me because the margin of error is so small.
mm-hmm.
It's just, man, there's no room to miss. With trombone, those intervals and partials are a little wider, so you just have a little more room. And then the small mouthpiece.
But I thought in jazz you're allowed to miss more notes. I thought it was fine.
Well, those days, sadly, are with the growth of jazz education, missed notes are becoming a thing of the past.
I would venture to guess that's true.
So from what I'm hearing, trombone was basically like your 7th instrument or something.
It was, yeah. And it was the one I fell in love with the hardest.
Oh.
And I knew from that moment on I was going to be a trombonist. And I wanted to be the next Curtis Fuller, the next jazz great. I wanted to play on people's projects and travel. And I wanted to develop mouthpieces and have my own horn and be a professor. I basically wanted to do all the things I'm really lucky to be doing now.
That was a good pander to our trombone audience too. That was really good. Trombone's your favorite. That's perfect.
Well, Sebastian gives me a tough time about talking about Juilliard, but I wanted to talk to you about Juilliard because people going to
the school? The school, right.
Wait, did you guys go to school there?
Well,
wow.
Okay, the reason I want to bring it up is because your time there was unique because you were at the beginning of the jazz studies at Juilliard. Were you the first class or the first entering in the first year? Is that right?
That's right. I was in the first year and I came in the second semester because we had a person drop out of the program.
Okay.
But I still claim it. First year.
So that's very unique. The program was brand new.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about that.
It was deep. Wow, where to start? Everybody was from all around the country. Everybody was so strong as a player and a recruit. So a dream team it's kind of like the dream team from the Olympics, Shaq and Michael Jordan and others. No, But and it was not in Juilliard, so we had access to these pianos, and then we're getting to meet cats like Nick, and like this is like these amazing musical instrumentalists and dancers and actors, and it was amazing. I have great memories, and I still have a lot of friends from the Juilliard years. My teacher was Wycliffe Gordon, and he was one of my first, and still is one of my first big heroes of music. And I bugged Joe Alessi eternally until he started giving us lessons, and that was great.
What
So,
could you single out like one or two of the biggest things that you remember that you've taken away from what you learned with Wycliffe?
yeah, Wycliffe, sure. Wycliffe encouraged me to believe more in myself, and he did that by believing in me, which that was heavy because I had a lot of self doubt. Even though I was super in love with music and very dedicated, I just he was like, Mike, man, you can really do this. I see great things for you. If for him to believe in me like that made it somehow made it more possible for me to believe in myself. So that's the sappy violins and shit.
That's important.
It is, but it's very nostalgic and sentimental too.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, if you can sing it, you can play it.
Mm.
That's one of his sayings, and
Mm-hmm.
he's got a book called that. But he basically can sing and vocalize anything that he plays. And as far as like air support and vowel definition and even embouchure, like the process of singing and internalizing what you're trying to play helps move the air and find the pitch so much easier on the trombone than without singing. We've been doing that with vocalises for hundreds of years, and it works great for jazz music because so much of our music is vocal anyway.
We went pretty in depth with that when I got to interview him at an ITF a couple years ago. So people check out that episode for more description of that for sure. That's awesome. I just had a random thought come to my head.
Yeah.
What would you say to, and I'm not saying this is what I am arguing, but what do you say to a critic of formalized higher education, jazz education, saying that jazz is in the streets and you should just learn by doing more rather than going to a formalized school for it?
Yeah, no, that there are critics like that for sure. That's a valid that's a valid query. It's in the schools. It was prohibited in schools for a long time. Many arts and jobs and passions have been adopted by institutions of higher learning, and they've benefited from the research and the community that institutions bring. Comes from the Greeks. People coming together for the purpose of sharing knowledge is what the university system's all about. So from that standpoint, I see university education as like a big plus and a benefit. And it's getting better and better as the level of professors and playing rises. And as we get more years in development of jazz education, it really started in the 50s, very late 40s, early 50s, North Texas, New England Conservatory, and then later Indiana University Jacobs School of Music. So it's still a kind of a Wild West new frontier meanwhile, classical musics have been taught in universities for hundreds of years. So there's still some catch up going. I think the street aspect of jazz music, which is very special, I think you can learn about that in school too. I don't think you can experience it in school, but it's something that you can study and research, and you can learn your craft to prepare you to succeed in the trenches, as they say, playing the music.
I think that translates to, in some ways, all art. It's like you can learn only so much in the institution. The rest of it, you got to get out the door and go listen to concerts, go meet people, and that's where you really cap off your education, is by experiencing and doing, of course.
Yeah, it's a great question, Sebastian, because you can't what's the colloquialism? You can't put all your eggs in one basket. I see people only trying to exist on the network scene or trying to be the best possible academic university student, and The answer is both. The answer is that you have to learn about the full entirety of what our job entails. Like playing in an orchestra, you got to be a good hang, be on time, be respectful, play in tune, and understand what the music you're playing is emotionally about. And you want to use as many resources as possible to get you prepared to do the thing that you love for a living.
Sure. Yeah.
That was a great answer. Yeah,
Yeah, really good.
it seems like there can be a balance. It makes me always think about when I was in grad school at Manus, Dave Taylor, when every time he'd come in for a coaching, the first thing he'd say to you was, "Hey, you getting out of the building?"
Hey,
It's so important.
I almost said that because that's exactly who I was thinking of when I said that. Sebastian is. I always hear Dave Taylor saying that. You getting out of the building? You getting out of the
yeah,
building?
that's at the heart of it, what it's about. Dave's a good friend of mine too. And you don't, I think people sometimes get it mistaken that you try to impress a teacher. And I don't know why it turned sideways, but
It's
maybe what I'm saying is sideways.
that's it.
But yeah, you can't just suck up to someone to get them to send you on a job. You have to make it happen, Captain, as they say.
Is there like I love hearing about like little smaller scenes. Is there some stuff going on in East Lansing where the students can get out of the building and go play?
Yeah, we have a robust program, so our students make things happen locally.
That's awesome.
There's a couple of regular gigs in town.
Oh,
East
great.
Lansing, East Lansing is hip because it's in the center of Michigan, right? So Toledo, Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, Detroit, even Chicago, they're all within striking distance for gigs and for concerts. So I like that. I like that there's also, it being a college town, it's really a great place to shed and practice and get your stuff together. I remember, like, one of the Juilliard memories I have is how much remedial work I had to do once I got to school. I couldn't attack a note without splitting it half the time. I didn't know any tunes. So I spent a good year and a half in the world's most expensive practice room. So I didn't get any of the benefit of being a New Yorker. I didn't hang at the clubs because you can't. I'm sorry, you can practice or you can hang at the clubs. You can't do both at the same time.
That leads me to sorry.
I was going to say, especially some of those club dates that you're trying to catch are midnight or later.
Oh yeah.
And if you got to be up for a 9:30 theory class, it's
Oh, I used to be like in my seat drooling because I was out of the Vanguard until 4 a.m. And one day, the director of jazz studies came in, and he saw me, and I was like, "Thank God I didn't skip class today." Oh my goodness! And then he still called me in the hallway, and he was like, Why are you so tired?" And I was like, "I was out listening to the world's greatest jazz last night. This is Roy Hargrove at the Vanguard, and you need to be asleep, resting, so you can pay attention in class." And he was right. It's like time. You make a choice. Not everybody has to go to school if you don't want to. So if I had decided to just live in New York, I wouldn't have those early morning responsibilities.
Well, that kind of leads me to something I was thinking about. The classic stereotype, archetype of a jazz musician, there's like a romance to the struggle a little bit. Or you can see the same kind of thing with a stand-up comedian, like the transient nature of it, the on to one gig at a time kind of thing. Now that, and you've been successful for a long time now, but now that you have this unique stability of a really wonderful music program as a jazz trombone professor, which there's not a ton of really high profile jobs like that. Like that kind of stability, has that changed how you feel at all, or how you view decisions you make in regards to musical choices or work choices?
Yeah, totally. It's given me more direction is where I can best spend my time. So it's helped me prioritize projects that are not just going to only benefit or deal with my approach, but how they impact other people. So I stopped having a teaching priority and then having a wife and kids, and that really changed how much I was available to do other type of gigs. I don't want to say like smaller gigs or smaller work, but I think that's like a natural progression too. I think as you go further in your career, you have to let things go for other people that need that work. So I've tried to not be a person. I used to see people like holding on to gigs for dear life. And the goal is, I think, with some gigs is to actually let them go happily so that you can like do a service to your community. So that's something I'm focused
Wow.
on. I'm focused on like training really great jazz trombonists so that we get more jobs like mine in the community. Like more schools need to have a dedicated full-time jazz trombone professor. People playing at a higher level is going to have people include trombone more in original jazz music. I've already noticed that starting to happen with some of my students. Alton Sinclair just got the UC Boulder job.
Awesome.
Nanami Haruta, who's been winning all these awards, and Chris Glassman, who's the director at Interlochen Arts Academy. I have a list. But no, that's the goal, is like to change the community and to leave it better off than where I found it, and to work on artistic projects that bring people together in research and uncover thoughts in projects that are meaningful. Like I just won a Guggenheim for the
No big deal.
2025 for music composition. So I'm writing music to tell the story about this young girl, Magnolia Cox from Akron, Ohio. And she was the first Black woman to be a finalist in the Scripps National Spelling Bee.
I think I remember her.
Yeah,
When was
this
it?
was in the 1930s.
Okay.
And
I remember.
but she didn't win. She lost because the judges decided to sandbag her. They called a word that wasn't on the list,
Whoa.
and the word was nemesis.
There's a lot behind that. You
It's
know what I
pretty.
mean?
That's a song title right there.
It is, and there's a book of poetry written about her situation, a tragedy really, and so I'm taking this book of poems about her life and writing music for it, using unusual instrumentation and voice, and it's going to be great.
I love that.
Wow, that's a really cool. That's a cool. What do you call it? Source material. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It really blew me away because the way I learned about the book is I had studied it actually in college, and then I got an email from a University of Michigan professor who wanted a trombone lesson with me. So he comes over the house, and I'm like, "What's your name?" And he says, "My name is Van Jordan." I said, "Are you A. Van Jordan, the poet?" And he was.
Whoa.
So we met for him wanting to take a jazz trombone lesson.
Amazing.
So he was just he's a poet teaching at University of Michigan and wants to learn the trombone.
Right, and well, now he got another gig at, I don't know if you've heard of this school, Stanford.
No.
I don't know if you've heard of that.
Can you?
Yeah. That's good.
Is that Stanford, Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
It's actually Samford.
Oh, Sanford.
Sanford
Okay.
and Son. Yeah.
Sanford and Son, yeah.
Sanford and Sons. But no, it's so he's like this super distinguished poet laureate of the U.S. and one of my heroes and a really close friend at this point. And I just fell in love with his book called Magnolia. So that's my project. So I'm really
That's so cool, man.
Do they give you like a certain time frame that you need to get it done by, or is it like a hands off, like here's the award and do it?
Man, it's really, I think, hands off. But I'm super motivated, and the fact that the foundation would trust me to do this is, if anything, I'll have it done early.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
So like you could just go spend all that money on like Taco Bell or something.
Legos,
That'd be an insane amount of Taco Bell.
mouthpieces.
Or you could get like based on the prize amount, 4 of those sterling silver mouthpieces, but we'll talk about that later.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I was talking to the Bob Reeves guys, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Oh no.
I got some more questions for you though. This is awesome. I love your thoughtful answers, but thinking about all the instruments you play, and it's clear that you have a knack for picking them up pretty quickly. And it got me thinking about polyglots, right? Like the people that can speak a million languages. And after you learn like a few languages, you start to learn the rate and speed at which you learn a new language is faster and faster because you start, from what I'm told, you see the commonalities and the quick avenues to learn something quickly. I'm curious if there's like through lines that you've discovered that you found connects all instruments and music making that makes you so adept at picking them up so easily and well.
Ooh, wow. There's a shape from the bottom, lower tessitura of the horn to the upper of wind instruments that is like a, in my mind, looks like a helix, like the DNA thing that those two fellows discovered, Watson and Crick, I think.
Wow.
Wow, pulling out my
What a snipe.
11th grade science. Thank you.
Hey, you're a college professor.
Thanks, Mrs. Pausman. No, she actually was my biology teacher in 11th grade, Mrs. Pausman. It's a shape thing, like the bottom stack of the saxophones and the roll of the valves and the way that the shape of as you ascend, the positions get closer together. You don't need further out positions. So that's the only thing I can say that feels unique with me, is that there is like a thread of a shape of a helix type thing that connects like flute and clarinet, bass clarinet and saxes and trombone. And other than that, I don't have anything else very cool. I have perfect pitch, but it's not as perfect as some people's. Like, you can't just jump on a piano and I tell you bottom to top. I'm not synesthetic. I can't smell sound. But yeah, that might be my only thing, is that I do feel like when I practice one instrument that I'm making some headway on another one.
Well, just to be clear, certain sounds do have a smell.
That could have its own episode.
Yeah. That's for the extra special subscribers.
Solid silver has a smell too.
With solid silver?
Can't say I know.
No, I'm just teasing the Bob Reeves subject.
Yeah, of course. It's foreshadowing.
Are you pretty good at like turning the technical brain off because when you're learning something new, there's a certain level, obviously, of I need to know what keys do what and the basic fundamental of creating the vibration. But like when you're learning something, are you able to like tap into that natural part of it pretty quickly?
I go faster when I think of staying out of the technical side. When I connect it to sound and feel, that's when things start happening good for me. And that's one of the challenges, being I'm a gearhead and I like a lot of like theory. So I like thinking about mechanics and I like imagery and all that stuff. But the more I think about things, the less effective my natural ability becomes. So I try to keep my brain turned off for as long as I can until I need to solve a problem. And then I like to go down the rabbit hole of that.
Wow. Yeah. I like the idea of keeping your brain turned off. It's obviously not what you're doing, but it's the technical part of your brain is off. You're trying to pay attention to the intent of music and sound.
Yeah. I think of it as maybe the other side of that is not turning the brain off, but it's giving due respect to the years of experience that we have as artists and musicians. Like we're trying to like focus on that more and letting things like take shape naturally rather than thinking of the instruction manual.
Trusting yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a good place. I find that like a lot of embouchure things fix themselves with me when I do that. Like just I have a shift sometimes as I get older and I have to pull it back. But I find that when I just center myself and listen for the sound and breathe naturally and pull the trombone to my face, it works itself out. I don't need to sit there with permanent marker and put lines and
stuff. The years of experience, as you said.
Yes.
Well, I think we should push on to talk about this.
Let's
This
talk about this
mouthpiece.
mouthpiece. Like, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I was hanging out at IWBC and talking to some of the Bob Reeves guys, and they were telling me, oh, we made a sterling silver mouthpiece for Mike Deese. I'm like, oh, like sterling silver plated. That sounds interesting. And they're like, no, it's pure sterling silver.
Yeah.
Okay, how did? Tell me it's not voodoo. Tell me the sound difference, the feel difference. What drew you to this?
It's strictly for international currency.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Liquid assets.
It's
non-liquid assets.
What I do is I have a little diamond tip knife, and whenever I travel abroad, instead of using Bitcoin or American dollars,
Shave some off.
Shave a little bit off. Yeah.
It's buried in an old chest in the backyard, right?
It's completely black with patina now. It's a tarnish. No. So your question was about the sound, right?
Yeah. What drew you to it?
I like precious metals. I guess that's okay to admit. Like, I love Christian McBride, the great bassist, has this like solid gold chain on his wrist. I, of course, have string and thread. He has a solid gold.
Michigander.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And Steve Teray and several other people have gold-plated bells. And I've noticed a characteristic ring and warmth with gold plating. I like silver-plated instruments as well sometimes. And so, just being a gear person, I was curious as to what a solid silver mouthpiece would sound like. I have a solid bronze. I've tried stainless steel, which I've never liked.
Can you pause there for a second? I'm curious what you don't like about stainless steel, because I have my opinions, and I wonder what yours are. Curiosity.
Sometimes I get a flavor, like there's like a taste or something that's off for me sometimes, but more so than that, there's a brittleness that I feel with stainless steel, and I'm not able to connect to the sound in the way that I can with brass. I really like brass, and I was hoping that solid silver would give me even more of a connection with the vibration than brass.
And does it?
It does. Yeah, it totally does. I like the density of it, so I like that it's a denser metal and it's heavier, but without the extra mass. Like, that's something that's appealing to me. I used to play on like the heavyweight monettes back at Juilliard. And I like those, but the amount of material being used, it backs up on me. And so I really like that like smaller profile of the mouthpiece with the density. Yeah.
So does it like hold up in the louds better?
Oh yeah, extremely.
But
yeah,
you still get
it's colorful. It's clear. It's on the darkish side, but without muting the overtones or. Yes, silver just does it does what I hoped it would do with is it vibrates and connects like a precious metal. And I'll tell you how crazy it was. On City Life, I played that mouthpiece on the whole record. And I had never played it. I warmed up on it, I think, a week before. And then I took the mouthpiece and I took my backup picket with me. And I said, I'm just going to start this record on the sterling mouthpiece, and if I get out of sorts, I'll go back to my ace in the hole, which is the picket clarity. And it felt great. We did the whole 2 albums in 2 days, so it was a lot of FaceTime, a lot of playing, and I survived. And I felt like I was playing at my level, and I can't help but think that the material played a positive role in that.
Wow. Sometimes it's nice to give ourselves little change ups last second. I don't know. It takes us out of overthinking, right?
Yeah, I'm very spontaneous. So I like. My wife hates it, but I don't like to plan. As a matter of fact, I'm going to stay at a hotel tonight. I haven't booked it yet. That's just how I like it like that. To be honest,
Me too. I'm the same way.
You picked a good profession.
Yeah.
So I like that. And recently I got a sterling silver screw rim for my picket bottom because I want to see now I'm interested in the difference. Like, how much does sterling up here impact? And I do the same thing with my other mouthpieces. Like, I have a like my Clarity model, I have a regular weight, I have a lightweight, and I have a super fat heavyweight. And I let my students try them so that they can see the difference that mass has on the feel.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I love it.
Well,
Yeah.
if you want to take a loan out against your mortgage, you can do a solid gold one next.
Oh man, well, we can put that in the category of things that will never happen.
I'm really Nick and I both have designed custom mouthpieces, and it's fun, the rabbit holes you can go down. And I'm really happy that you've gotten to do that. And personally, I prefer for pure platinum for my mouthpieces, but it's really nice that you have your that much money would that be?
You got a hell of a deadpan on you, man. I'm impressed.
Sorry,
that was good.
Way too comfortable.
That was very good.
Nick, is there anything else you want to do before I move to rapid fire?
Let's get into the rapid fire. I think we're at the perfect spot for it.
Oh.
So Mike, we always close with a rapid fire section, which sometimes isn't rapid, but I wrote down some unique questions for you that I'm excited to ask you. But to start, we always start with this question to all of our guests. What advice would you give to your 18-year-old self? It's a big one.
Stumped him.
Wow, you did. You're not going to like my answer.
No, of course I'll love it.
There's nothing wrong.
18-year-old me was full steam ahead. That's what I'd say. Full steam ahead. I didn't know. The context for that is that there was a lot of stuff going on in my life. Parents divorcing, being alone. And I really tried hard to not have any regrets. So a series of decisions led from me moving to Georgia to Florida to New York. And I was, in hindsight, I'm pretty proud of how I handled that. So I'd probably give myself a hug and say, you just keep doing what you're doing. You'll be all right.
Wow. No, I don't think a lot of people can say that to their, I certainly can't. If I go back to my 18-year-old self, I'd tell them to do a lot of things differently.
Yeah. No, it was crazy. It was a crazy time, but I had to find where I needed to be. I wasn't smoking or doing drugs or doing anything like harmful to myself. And I was really just on the search to be in a place where I could grow and do what I love for a living. And I found it. So if I'd be afraid to tell myself something different, like I might make the wrong decision and not be on this podcast.
It's always a good decision. If you could go back and play a gig with any musician, living or dead, who would it be and what tune would you call?
Woo!
Wow.
I would go back in time. Like in any time?
Anytime.
Man, I would go back to like the late 1940s and I'd want to play Confirmation with Charlie Parker. That would be you could send me off to the next journey after that.
That would be a night. If your trombone could talk, what would be the first thing it would say to you?
Why? I have so many slides. I have so many bell flares. I have like counterweights and 7 different weights. I have about 26 lead pipes on my bar, very close to alcohol. And my trombone would just be like, come on, man, make up your mind. This shit is different every day. Do you even like me?
Spitting into me so much.
Yeah. I think that's my trombone would say. It wouldn't say clean me. I clean my trombone pretty regularly. Yeah. I've turned into like the gearhead that I've always wanted to be. So yeah.
It's funny how that happens. Yeah, I avoided it for so long, and now I'm like, every little tinker you really notice when you're at a certain level. It's pretty.
Well, it messed me up because I was touring with Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra, and Elliot Mason plays.
Oh, his bell is crazy.
Oh man, but he's got a screw bell, and I was like, just for shits and giggles, Elliot, can I see your bell flare? And he handed it to me, and it fit it fit my flare. So,
no kidding.
And I tried it. Going from a 508 slide and a 8-inch bell to an 8.5 phosphor brass bell, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. So I was like, here we go. There goes another $1,000 or whatever I need to pay to get somebody to make this. And that's where Miles O'Malley comes in. He's been doing some really amazing custom work for me lately. In addition to obviously Brett, Kendall, and a team, Don Snell and Bob Reeves. They've been great. It should be known I'm a longtime Pickett endorser, and I asked Peter for his blessing because he's just not doesn't have time to go down the sterling silver rabbit hole right
Yeah,
now.
I get here. I work with him a lot on my mouthpiece, and I could just see his face if you would end that. Why? Why do you want
I
to do
saw
that?
it. I saw the face, and I've heard the voice. But so I, out of respect, because I think in the sterling silver mouthpiece process, I've gotten to speak with every mouthpiece manufacturer.
Wow.
Except maybe Ivan Giddings, because somebody told me that he's doesn't do it, and I didn't want to try another sterling silver stainless steel.
Yeah.
But Greg Black is a good friend of mine, and we've been friends for over 20 years, and he was reluctant to get into it. So I was really blown away when Brett said he could do it. He did a great job. Absolutely dig the hell out of that mouthpiece.
Wow, amazing.
All right, I got a few more bangers for you. Okay. Beyond the trombone, what has impacted your musicianship? What's something outside of music that's impacted your musicianship the most?
Oh, it's got to be the people. I can't really separate my music from the people of my life. So I have songs for my wife, Gorgeous Gwen. I have Brooklyn for my daughter, Brooklyn, who's 9, and then I have Charlie J for my 7-year-old. And
Those are fun ages, right?
oh man, they're great. The teens are coming up, so they're even greater. But no, it's almost everything I write and feel about music comes from like interaction with a person. It's not so much places. Like I'm in a beautiful place right now. This is a barn. I'm outside of a barn in Connecticut, and it's
Nice.
absolutely beautiful. But I'm not going to write a tune about this barn. I might write something about the person in there.
The two people you talk to while looking at the barn.
That could very easily become a song. But yeah, that's my life has been shaped by these very deep interactions with people like my parents and my loved ones and good friends, and it's on a lot of heartache. I think that's the essence of the blues is how you process the challenges in life and how you don't let it get you down, no matter how down it is. Yeah, that's the essence of the blues is smiling and trudging forward in the face of strife. Well,
This can be one of our most quotable podcasts ever. I love it.
that and
man.
Taco Bell. That and Taco Bell. The Mexican pizza and 2 crunchy supreme tacos with Baja Blast.
No, you gotta get Baja Blast.
Easy on the way in and out.
And hey, favorite Taco Bell hot sauce?
Fire.
Fire. It's got to be fire.
Yeah.
If you say Chipotle, I'm ending this right now.
You're not going to like my answer.
Yes.
What is your answer?
I always decline the sauce.
You're over here, raw dog and Taco Bell?
Dude, Taco Bell's the best sauce ever made.
I want to taste the essence of the flavors that they're cooking for me.
But those hot sauces are perfectly curated to bring out those flavors. It's like adding just the perfect amount of spice and salt to a dish, and everything just goes whoosh.
Is that why they're always like have a bewildered look on their face when I say no?
Yeah, you're like the only person who says no.
And most people like ask for certain numbers. Like I always ask for 10. Can I get 10?
I get
10
15.
fire sauces. 15. Oh,
I
They'll give you that many?
The odd number keeps them honest.
Yeah, exactly. I want them counting. I don't want them just putting a couple. And it's got to be like an amount that can almost get them fired.
Oh man,
it's like
you
a
know
dangerous amount.
All right, what's next?
Okay, I just have 2 more, and then Nick's final one. What does the future of jazz trombone sound like to you? This may be too broad. That works.
Man, it's
Or where do you see it going?
Man, I see so many voices emerging. And when I back in our school days, like there were just like 5 or 6 cats like putting a lot of their music out at the time. Like I remember, I mean, I don't mean to leave anybody out, but it's off the top of my head. I could go to Tower Records when I was 20 and buy Steve Davis, Conrad Herwig, Robin Eubanks, Steve Teray, Wycliffe Gordon.
Rest in peace, that Tower Records across from Lincoln Center.
Yeah.
Great.
It was a special place. And then, Yeah, and then you had Vincent Gardner and Andre Hayward and Noah Bless. Josh Roseman had CDs out at the time, but we're still like under 10 people putting out like recordings and making the jazz trombone voice be heard. And I see that like dramatically changing. So we got great new voices that are going to really outperform and outshine the impact of those kind of like lull years. Not lull players, because the players are all amazing, but we need it to be more. And yeah, I'm losing all my
Yeah.
fancy words.
And you're part of molding that future.
I'm trying to like jumpstart this keg as much as possible. I don't hold anything back in my teaching. Wycliffe told me once, and I tell all my students the same thing. I want my students to outplay me. I don't want them to sound as good as me. I want them to sound better. I want them to sound different. Or if they want to play something like I played, I'll show them. I really want this thing to blow up in the best way. So
Awesome.
Okay, so here's my favorite question. So correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a self-proclaimed 1980s horror movie aficionado?
Huh?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Fantastic.
if you could pick any horror movie to put on mute and improvise to, which one would it be?
It's got to be John Carpenter's Halloween.
Oh,
Classic.
classic.
It's got to be. It's a perfect movie.
It's
I mean,
almost
it's real.
as classic as Taco Bell Mexican pizza and fire hot sauce.
Man, I tell you, they get the proportions right on those tacos too. It's really high level class. But no, I'm actually reading the novelization of Halloween Kills right now. That's how heavy I am into horror movies.
We need a genre of horror jazz. That exists, right?
The horror movies, Rosemary's Baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great one. Halloween will be so great. One of the first movies to adopt a theme in 5/4. So, that's right.
Yeah.
I think, man, did you sing that in the right key?
Did I? That was totally intentional, by the way, for all those listening.
That's amazing. Great. All right. Well, I hope I did your fire round justice.
You did great, and Nick always closes with one.
I have one real quick one. You're obviously a teacher, so this is to the teacher side of you. What do students not do enough of that they need to be doing more of?
Trust their teachers.
Wow. Yeah. I 95% agree with you. Because it's relative of who the teacher is.
Right. You got to you have to have a teacher you can trust, first of all.
Totally. 100%.
And then if you've decided to go down this road of having a teacher, trust them. Let them be a mentor to you. I had and this isn't I see this all the time. This isn't just like my students or anything like that. I hope my students trust me, but too often I see students feel like lessons are like kind of talk, like therapy sessions, or hey, let's trade ideas about music. And it's like, no, I have this experience here that I want to like bequeath to you. Yeah. And I want you to trust me that these things are going to give you gains and you'll make strides in these areas. But if you don't trust me and believe that we as teachers have your best interests at heart, like it's going to be hard to get started. So then too, if you don't feel like your teacher is prepared or has your best interests and started, that's another conversation. There might be time. Not everybody's the right teacher for everybody.
Yeah, when you have those lessons where the students, like, you feel like it's a debate or where you're trying to convince them that you're right. I had a student for a while just be like, if I would say something, he'd be like, I agree. I'm like, I don't care if you agree.
Yeah. It doesn't, just got to take the ego out of it.
Yeah.
On both sides, and just I think the best teaching interactions that I've ever had are where a student allows me to mentor them.
Yeah.
And to me, that's where the trust comes in, is because I might not have the answer. I had a student with an embouchure issue, and I said, listen, I want to help you so bad, but I need help with this. Let's go talk to Steve Wolfenbarger. And I might not be able to fix it, but I'll do everything I can to get you the information so that we can fix it together.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the whole. Because with my students, like when my students win, I win.
Yeah.
We're in this together. And if I have a student that decides like that music isn't their path, that they're more passionate about other things, man, I support them fully, because then I have a happy student. So it's important. It's important to have trust.
I like that. I think that's the first time we've had that answer, so I like it.
That's good.
Great.
Well, Mike, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to hang with us. I know we've been trying to schedule this for a while.
Oh man, it's a real ball on my part. It's great to talk to you, cats. Thanks for doing these. This is so hip. That's very cool.
Well, we love it.
We love it. It's been a while, but we're excited to get started back again with you. And you're an assassin, sir, and it's awesome hearing what you're doing for the trombone world and music in general, and to keep following your career, and excited to see the future that you touch with your teaching. And Trombonist of the Year, Michael Dease here. In closing, is there anything else we didn't talk about or anything you'd like to say in closing?
Oh, well, I'm sideways again. No, this has been a joy. It's important that we get together and talk like this and share ideas, and that we model like the openness and respect that we want to see in the music world, and that we obviously is espoused by great professionals like you guys. And so it's just an honor to take part, and I hope you keep doing it, and I'll tell as many people as I can about it.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Michael Dease. Michael Dease.
I'm just gonna say bye, sideways goodbye. Okay.
All right. Take care.
Don't.
Thanks,
I'm
y'all.
falling. All right. See you later. So, do you think, like, in lessons, when he is demonstrating for his students, he says, "Okay, play it again, but like a Deese."
Or he could say, "Hey, do you like apples?" And they go, "What do you mean?" And then he rips a sweet lick, and he goes, "How about these apples?"
Wow. Because if you think about, like a Deese sounds a lot like Michael Dease.
Oh my God. Okay, we need to push through this as fast as possible.
He's gonna. It's only the true fans keep listening.
Yeah, the real inside baseball fans. No, I thought it was fantastic. It feels like he's thought about so much beyond just being a player. I think he really takes the idea of being a steward of not just the trombone, but jazz music, and ushering in the next generation of players and artists. And I think he takes both sides of that very seriously, the player and the teacher. And both of us are teachers, Sebi, but that left me with something to think about with my own teaching, is just where I want to bring my own students. Where they come in, I have them for 2 to 4 years. Where are they at the beginning, where at the end, and how can I help with that journey? And
How many times have they cried? And yeah.
Man, it's a tough thing. We all know it. We were in school, and I think the further you get away from school, just naturally, it's easy to forget about some of the hardships of being in university or conservatory setting. And we have to remind ourselves, we got to be a strong rock that they can lean on and rely on. And he's
Absolutely.
good. He's great.
Yeah, he seems like he's in a really good place. Obviously, he had a great sense of humility about it and felt very grounded about it. But being voted by all the top critics and your peers to be the Trombonist of the Year,
Yeah,
that's a really big deal.
I was thinking about this. It's funny, and we brushed it, the idea of jazz. If you compare jazz and classical, obviously classical is so much more structured. But which one has a magazine that ranks its own players? It's contradictory in a way. Not in a bad way. It's just interesting.
Yeah, we rank ourselves way too much, and we compare ourselves way too much, and that's part of a major problem, I think. But it is cool, and you can frame it in the right way. It's who is saying something right now and really making their mark right now. It's less about comparing one to one. But I was blown away by him, and you've known him a lot longer, and you were in school together?
Yeah, the whole time. We graduated together.
So how much interaction was there?
I don't know. I can only talk about when I was there. And like we mentioned, it was the absolute beginning of the jazz program. And one thing I do regret is not having him go into, I wanted to ask him, like, did it feel disorganized because it's brand new and they don't know how to run it yet? Or was it like right away?
I'm sure.
Is well-oiled machine there to begin with. But anyway, yeah, we had some interaction. Most of our interaction would actually be in classes, not actually playing. But there was one really cool thing we did, and this was definitely not built into the program. This was created by Joe Alessi and Wycliffe Gordon. We did this masterclass called Two Sides of the Slide. And
That video.
yeah. So it's like we do this really interesting arrangement by Wycliffe of Tuba Miram. And it starts off straight, like how it's written, but with trombone choir as the accompaniment. And then it has a jazzy twist. But I don't know if I know that's available, the trombone choir stuff with Joe and Wycliffe soloing. But there was also a masterclass portion where Joe taught the classical players individually, and then there was a quartet of jazz players playing classical quartets, and then all of that inverse. So the classical guys playing for Wycliffe, and then putting together a quartet and playing I think we did Gershwin, or is it Gershwin? No, it's Ellington, Braggin and Brass. Do you know that one? Has a crazy hard trombone solo. You should check it out. If you've never heard it, Braggin and Brass has like
heard it.
Really hard trombone writing. And so we played that, and we absolutely sucked. Wycliffe shoot us a new one. Oh my God. But back to your original question, most of the interaction we had was self-driven. I would play duets with some of those guys from time to time. And like, we never played together though. Every now and then I would sub in the Juilliard Jazz Orchestra because they didn't have bass trombone players. And I felt like the dumbest person in the room every single time I walked in there.
I bet it was super fun though once you like got into the parts.
I couldn't get to the point where it was fun. It should have been. I was so nervous every single time because
they ever ask you if you want to take some solos?
Yeah, right. Yeah, the director would, when picking out people for solos, would stay pretty far away from me, so wouldn't even be confused that I'd be taking a solo. But I
start playing. You just start playing New Orleans.
I do look back and I wish I could have been more present because it's just I should have given myself grace. Yeah, I don't know how to do this like you guys do, but I should at least just enjoy being around you guys doing this. And I did, but I was predominantly just scared because
it's amazing how many moments. Yeah, I'm sure. Like, it's amazing how many moments in life feel like the biggest deal possible, and like you should be so ready, when really, in the grand scheme of things, this is an awesome learning opportunity if you frame it the right way. And this moment doesn't matter at all. It's like this: if I framed my mind around this the right way, like, wow, I'm getting to play all this awesome music and learn something for the future. But
I will wrap it up by saying one thing that was there is we had a lot of mutual respect for each other. We would support each other. We'd show up to each other's recitals. We'd show up to each other's concerts. And we'd hang out. And we had a lot of respect for each other across the board, classical, jazz, everybody.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool program.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, go without saying, but if you haven't spent any time, like next time you're just like washing your dishes, put on some of his recent albums, and it's awesome. I really enjoyed diving in. There's still so much I haven't heard, but he's put out a decently prolific amount of recordings already.
Yeah, and I can't stress it enough. We brushed on it, but just sit and think about the guy can play like every instrument plus some in a big band.
At a high level.
At a really high level. Think about that. He got in Downbeat for trombone and bari sax in the same issue. That's crazy.
Bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers.
He's always been that way since we were in college. Just such an insane talent.
It's like he probably simplifies it so much in a beautiful way, and that's why I wanted to ask him about that. Like, he probably doesn't look at it as hard. He just probably has a really high level of transference where all of his unique abilities that he's amassed learning trombone, for example, he knows how to just bring those over in a very natural way. I think that's really cool. That with, like I said, polyglots, and James Morrison is another freak of nature. We should interview him sometime.
Yeah,
But
no kidding.
yeah, we'd have to get like a Australian English dictionary or something.
Oh no!
Nar. That's the mascot for the Manus, the narwhals.
The narwhals, yeah. Shoot, I was going to say something else. About like his process. Talked about it being like a helix, and I personally can't think of it that way. That's what makes sense. We all have this. We have things that make sense to us, and then we try to explain them to other people, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" I get what he's talking about, but it's just not. It doesn't transfer that way for me. But it's what it did show me, insight wise, is that like he hears something, and I think he just keeps playing until that comes out of the bell, and he's just like going from ear to playing, and that's how it works for him. He's not thinking very much about technique. The technique follows the music, and that I can relate to. That's how I think personally. Certainly not as good as him, but I try to lead with music and have the technique follow along. That's generally how things work in my brain. Everyone's different, though, right?
Well, there's so many different ways to solve problems, I feel. And often, say you're in a playing slump, most people have one way to solve the problem. They think what they've done before, or they need to think of the technical reason of what's happening. But the problem is, like, there can be an infinite amount of technical things that you could deep dive on to change. That could be an issue. You could open the hood to the car and just look for hours. And yeah, that is one way to solve problems. You can also approach it from the other side, which is just activating that other side of your brain and just thinking about what you want to sound like and what you want to feel, and trusting your body and brain to find that place in a natural way. And that often works better too. I want to have as many tools as possible to get back to who I am. I feel like half of being a musician is problem solving half the time, of just, I have a concert tonight, and trombone feels like a foreign object right now. Like, how do I get to the place I want to be?
Yeah, I had a recording session like that the other day, and just, certain things are just not going to be happening today, and I feel like there's nothing I can do about it. I just got to try to push through. But I like to think about it in the terms of, there are some people, especially when you're teaching, there's some people that when you say, all right, think about like your aperture and your corners of your embouchure and where's your tongue, that just makes them like freeze. They don't know what to do with that. They can't think about all that stuff. Other people, if you talk about just like the concept of sound, the concept of phrasing, that does nothing for them. And some people everyone's in some sort of Venn diagram of the two, either way on one side, way on the other, or somewhere in the middle between those two. And it's just like in sports, you have like John Daly and Bryson DeChambeau is probably a better one in golf. Bryson is out here. He's doing analytics on every single aspect of his swing. He's thinking about relative humidity affecting ball flight in golf. And then there's John Daly, who just rips a couple cigarettes and gets up there and smacks the shit out of the ball.
Yeah.
And both are phenomenal. So there's many ways to get to the end, right?
What are those Netflix shows? There's one on tennis. There's one on golf where it's like they're like following individual players. Oh man,
I can't remember the name of it.
I totally forgot. It's awesome though, because in watching that before you have something serious, it made me feel so much better, because there's all these elite players. They're doing one of the hardest things to do in one of the most competitive fields there is, and they all approach it differently. Like, all these golfers have their own type of swing, and they've all found like what works for them and what works for their body type and what works for how they think to be the best version of themselves, instead of there's one universal thing and we all have to do it. And I'm sure, they've taken things from other people, they've taken things from their teachers, but there's no one person that does things exactly the same. There's certain things in music that we should all try to do, but just because you do something slightly different, or your mouthpiece is in a slightly different spot than someone else, or blah, 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 I don't know, it doesn't mean you're totally in the wrong. Totally. At the end of the day, we're trying to make beautiful music and make people feel things.
Yeah, totally. Well said. I'm very curious about this song cycle he's writing based on Magnolia Cox. I looked up her more. What a amazingly tragic story. Tragic, not in, maybe tragic is the wrong word. Unfair, unjust story. But wow. And then he didn't, to me at least, it didn't land completely that when he talked about the professor from the University of Michigan coming and taking the lesson. It's the person who wrote those poems that he's basing the song cycle.
How cool
for
is
some
that?
reason that didn't click right away for me, but maybe I'm just slow. That is really cool. That's like serendipitous. Oh crap! I'm doing the right thing. The world is telling me. The universe is telling me this is the right thing to do at this moment.
And I'm thinking he's like a full-time professor now. And for those full-time professors out there, they have to fill out every year you fill out something where you talk about what you've done this year and your scholarly research and the things you've contributed and whatever, as an ongoing thing. And sometimes that's part of the tenure process too.
Totally.
And I'm just thinking for him, I would just be like, instead of spending 20 hours on it like everybody does, I would write Michael Dease, Guggenheim Fellowship. Okay, submit.
Yeah, I know. That is such a competitive fellowship.
Deal.
Any sort of grant, anything has a level of competition, but just because the purse for this fellowship is pretty substantial, of course, the more money involved and the more prestige the foundation, the more applicants there's going to be. I know people who apply for that, and they've applied for years, and so it's a huge honor, and of course he deserves it.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Yeah, it's good to be casting again. As you say, Nick, and there's a lot of people we want to talk to, and I'm looking forward to streamlining ways we can do it, and we do it when we can. And thanks for everyone that's been reaching out, and there's still people that listen like every week. It's crazy, even when we have some dry spells. It is what it is.
We're gonna push real hard to become somewhat more regular.
I don't think they trust our promises anymore. Too many times.
Yeah. Well, I can promise you that we'll never be a weekly podcast.
We're the absentee father of podcasts.
Yeah, we come back with a couple of Hot Wheels and we win your heart back.
We show up at one soccer game, and you're just so happy, and you think we're always going to be there, and then you don't see us for a couple years, and then you have a new stepmom. But wow, that hit home too much.
Seb, you want to lay down on the couch? We can turn this into a session.
Yeah, I would challenge anyone on a stepmom off. If anyone's had more stepmoms than me, I would like to meet you. Yeah, we're on the TikTok now. As of a couple days ago, because I was bored, and I was like, what if I just share one of our big videos on it? And
well, it makes me very happy because as one of my main guilty pleasures is TikTok.
It's quite amazing. Like I try to stay away on purpose for a lot of reasons. But just as far as the business and everything, the brand, it's an incredible algorithm, and I guess we've reached a new audience. I posted one video. It's like at 250,000 views. It's okay, and the comments are profoundly hilarious. We posted like a trombone choir video, and the things they've said about Nick, the thing they said about the playing, it's very.
I would recommend checking it out for nothing more. The comments are pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, so we're on there. Follow us on Instagram. We've become a lot more active. We're almost at 10,000. So
oh my God.
Follow us there if you haven't. Because promised at 10,000, we're going to finally do our first merch drop, which I have a lot of ideas in the noggin.
And if your lower back hurts and your knees pop when you stand up, check us out on Facebook.
That's where we get like our most video views, I think.
I know. But there are people definitely not 18 years old on Facebook usually.
That is true. And yeah, we had a beautiful retreat, and so we'll have a lot of content from this summer's retreat, which was really cool, coming out soon. And we are not at the ITF right now, Nick. I don't know if you knew.
Playing hooky. Well,
it's nice. I've gone the last 4 years. I needed like a break.
Yeah, and plus, I don't trust a place called London that's not in the UK. I don't understand that.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. There's only one London.
But yeah, Latvia though, that's next summer, and you and I have it.
Oh my God,
in our minds.
We gotta go. I've heard from a lot of people that Latvia is awesome, so I want to go. And I've eaten Latvian food. It's actually really good.
What's Latvian food like?
It's close to Russian food. There's a lot of overlap, like or Polish food. Like you have like things, dumpling like things. You have lots of different soups. You have it's a cabbage forward diet, but also a meat forward diet. I had a Latvian friend for a little bit before they moved back to Latvia.
Wow, that's sad. Do you want to talk about it?
No.
Okay.
Latvia's waiting for us.
Sure. Let's do it. Let's do like a Eastern European.
We could do a Baltic tour. We could go Latvia, Lithuania. I don't know.
Oh my God.
We can go to Belarus or Moldova. Hit some real sleepers.
I would love it.
Me too.
If you want to support us, follow us on YouTube so we can just make trombone travel content. That'd be so fun. I recorded a lot from my recent trip, and I need to still post it, but that's coming soon. Yeah, follow us on all the things, comment on all the things, rate us on all the things. We appreciate you. We love you. We're sorry we're bad fathers, but we love doing this, and we'll keep doing it as much as we are able to do it. But you want to start us with the haiku or the? Do you remember?
Oh, it's not haiku. Yeah.
And when times are down.
And the battery on your car won't start.
Just give it a little juice.
Pump the brakes. Flip the switch. And always remember to retreat yourself.
Okay.
Not my best creation.
It's been a while. We're rusty.
Yeah, we're rusty.